Welcome back. We have been keeping our eye on the day on Wall Street, and one stock, in particular, is popping, and perhaps you've heard of it. Twitter shares are up roughly 20% right now, and it is all because of one four-letter word. Earlier, I asked Jill Wagner what exactly that word is and how big of an impact it is, in fact, having on the company.
It is sale, Josh. Twitter shares are jumping on reports that tech companies, including Salesforce and Alphabet, which is the parent company of Google, are close to offering a formal bid to buy Twitter. Now, there have been rumors for months that Twitter was putting itself on the market looking for potential suitors. Twitter's board is reportedly said to want a deal. CNBC is reporting a deal could come by the end of the year. At this point, it's still very early. I should note Alphabet is trading a little bit lower. Salesforce is trading a bit lower. Twitter, though, is soaring on the news and only adding fuel to the fire here. The chief digital evangelist at Salesforce tweeted, of course, praise for Twitter, saying why Twitter: 1, personal learning network; 2, the best real-time context-rich news; 3, democratize intelligence; and 4, great place to promote others. So that is not being lost on traders here, again, adding fuel to the fire. Josh?
Yeah, looking for any sign of fire with regard to all the smoke. Twitter obviously has really struggled, Jill, when it comes to users and, frankly, really what to do with them beyond its basic function. It's looked to turn itself around on any number of fronts. How successful has it been, even as perhaps sales targets loom?
You know what? At this point, they've made a lot of efforts and they've taken a lot of steps to gain users, but it doesn't seem like a lot of it has worked. As you said, Twitter's really been struggling. Social media companies like Snapchat, Instagram, they are growing exponentially, especially with millennials and younger users. But Twitter's growth really keeps disappointing. It's taken a lot of steps. They want to be more user-friendly. Just this week, Twitter said it would no longer count photos and videos towards its 140-character limit. It's letting users add stickers to photos, kind of like Snapchat and Instagram. Twitter also made deals with the NFL and other professional sports leagues to stream games live. It streamed Thursday Night Football to mixed reviews. Shares actually tumbled for Twitter, ironically, in pre-market trading before the news of this sale came out, because RBC downgraded it, saying that it polled ad execs and they were saying they may be pulling some money. They were disappointed in advertisements on Twitter. But again, this could be a game changer here. If these reports are true and Salesforce or Alphabet or another tech company is looking to buy Twitter, again, it could be a game changer. Twitter trading much higher here.
It would be a remarkable thing. It appears we've maybe reached a time where even 140 characters are just too much to read. Jill Wagner, as always, appreciate the time, Jill. And we do want to check in now with our friends at CNET, one friend in particular, Dan Ackerman. So, Dan, again, we just heard the robust news, at least for the stock, but what is it now that perhaps people believe makes Twitter a good buy?
You know, we've talked about Twitter for a long time, about how it's a really good one-trick pony, but it really does one thing. I happen to think it does it well, but it's very difficult today for a company to survive as kind of a single entity, to just do one thing. That's why Facebook has expanded into all these other businesses. That's why other companies like Microsoft and like Google acquire interesting companies to kind of add to their portfolios. I mean, while Twitter is a standalone, that's a very tough business to be in when everyone is so focused on growth.
And in this time, Dan, it has seemed at times as though it was something of a digital utility, not unlike an electric company or a gas company, and that it provided, as you point out, it provides and does one thing very well. But aside from burnishing the catalog, perhaps, of a Google or of a Salesforce, we heard what ad directors think about doing business with it. What does a Google or a Salesforce believe perhaps could be done with it?
I think there's a lot of interesting value inside Twitter. Number one, it's a great real-time engine of exactly what is going on in kind of a broadcasting sense in terms of news, in terms of opinion. There's also a ton of data in there. There are academics right now, college professors, who are data mining Twitter for really interesting stuff, running hundreds of millions of tweets through machine learning engines and able to come up with very interesting information. I think any business would find that very valuable.
So, again, there is a question, as Jill was just pointing out from the floor, the smoke versus fire here. What do you make then of this news, and how likely do you think it is that Google subsumes it?
You know, it's very interesting that you kind of hear about this before the fact. There may be some offers, but nothing's on the table right now. The big beneficiary right now is obviously Twitter with their stock price today. We're going to have to wait to see what happens maybe by the end of the year. But we talked about this for a while. It's becoming difficult to see Twitter continuing as a standalone entity.
Just as a user, I hope it, has life still. Dan Ackerman, as always, we appreciate it.
Thank you.